Okay, so it's been a little while since I did one of these, which means it's going to suck because it's always rusty when I pick up on doing these walks. Anyway, but I have an actual legit sort of directly relating to avoidant personality disorder. Let's see if you can see my guys. There's one of them. There's another one. Anyway, directly relating to avoidant personality disorder, so I'm going to try and give this a shot. And I'm afraid I'm going to come across as whiny and braggy at the same time. But, okay. So I'm sure that you've heard in the past year or so me complain that I work way too much and I work all the time. And how badly it's affecting me. And it truly is. And also, I don't know why they didn't pick up trash today. So I'm sorry for seeing it piled all over the place. Anyway, come on, guys. Anyway, yeah, so the overworking situation, which, by the way, I actually get quite a bit of criticism, comparatively, for someone with avoidant personality disorder. Any criticism at all destroys you, and you remember every single word of it. So any snark I get that anybody else would be like, oh, somebody's just like having a bad day, and they just throw it off and ignore it or whatever. I'm constantly thinking, God, well, if you hate me so much, why don't you just freaking fire me? That I'm never doing enough. I'm never doing it right. Anyway. But I have been working massive amount. And the worst of it is, the way that my job has always been is, I think it's perfectly matched to somebody with avoidant personality disorder. It's multiple people, one after the other. Extremely rarely that there's anybody that's repeating, and a ton of work. And so I'm constantly distracted because there's always, the next one. I got to do the next one, and can't really take time to dwell on what I just did. And I get pretty much immediate feedback, because it's a requirement to report on the job I did, and it's updated. I mean, this would be something that would stress other people out, but I don't sit and dwell and say, well, they must have hated me, because I know, okay, maybe they didn't love me, they didn't completely hate me, and maybe they're being polite, but whatever, I still get that feedback. But it has changed, because my boss has discovered that, which makes sense, customers are happier if they are not sitting around waiting, that it's like immediate feedback. And so what she has done is, she's realized her bonus is based on the wait time. And so she hired all these people, and we stand around and don't work for up to 50% of the time. And they sit and chat with each other. And it's horrible. And it's just gobs of hours. And, when I was working massive amounts and just going, and as much work as I could possibly do, as quickly as I could possibly do it, this was one kind of stress. But talking with the same people, coworkers, it's terrible. And especially the hours, because to do this, basically to maintain it, she's got to basically double everybody's hours. It's gross. So that is the reality of my job and how it changed. And I didn't realize that that was going on, but that's what's happened. And so this is it. Now, for avoidant personality disorder people, they are notorious for never ever pulling the plug. That the amount of grievance they have to cause to get somebody to ditch another person or structure or anything when they have avoidant personality disorder is just astronomical. And if there's any kind of abuse or criticism, it turns somebody with avoidant personality disorder into like this little cowering nothing. And please don't kill my cats. Please don't kill my cat. They're not used to me. Anyway, basically people stay there. That's why people get into relationships and they stick with like the most horrible person you could imagine, stay married forever. It's one of the lowest rates of divorce of any type of category of people you can come up with. Is people with avoidant personality disorder. It's almost impossible to quit. I had an intolerable job and quit by moving 800 miles away. That's what it took for me. I couldn't just say, I'm not going to work at this job and I'm going to work at another job nearby and maybe run into these people. I had to move that far in order to quit. Very, very difficult. But this has been affecting like my life and my health. And really, I'm not your average avoidant. And since I got rid of the stress of dealing with my family members, not completely, but I mean a huge amount of it, like 90% of that stress at least is gone, I can focus on other things. One of the good things about having to work all the time is I don't really have financial stress anymore. I don't have all these other stresses. I don't have people in my life. So even though I have a very small little cup available to, they're coming, to put energy out there, I can basically focus on this one thing. And so I have been trying to get up the gumption to say something about it. Now, 2.5 weeks ago, I did one of my trips. I went to Hawaii. This is the braggy part. Highly recommend it to anybody if you do not have the sort of agoraphobic part of avoidant personality disorder. If you can get out in the world, now's the time. It was amazing. And part of when I go on these trips is that I put up, pictures and videos and everything else. I've done pretty good about putting the videos up. I still have over 2,000 photos to go through for Instagram. I don't put 2,000 photos up. I have to go through them, sort them, kind of make a story by clumping them together, edit them. I do very little editing. It's usually just basically picking how to crop, because you really can't do much on Instagram. And I do get complaints about, you've overly cropped these pictures, and yeah, it's preset. there isn't much I can do. I mean, maybe there is. Maybe if I actually learned how to use Instagram, I would be able to do much better than what I do. But anyway, it's a lot. It's a lot. And actually, the next 2 sections of the trip, which I think is still, it's only the second day of the planned part of the trip, of the trippy trip, not the travel part, but the actual trip itself, day 2 of 4. In the morning, I think, is where I'm still at. Got so much stuff to put up. And incredibly cool video that I haven't even seen. I have to figure out how to access it because I did it on a GoPro. Never used one of those before. Never uploaded. Got to learn all that. This takes time. So, and it takes energy that I do not have. And and the thing is, when you're working so much and you live by yourself and you have to do everything, then I came home and I have 4 cats. I don't have 5 anymore. It's very sad. But I had 4 cats and they ruled the roost while I was gone, and I had to clean the entire house and stupidly, for the first time in ever, I screwed up my schedule. Usually I come back from a trip and I give myself a day off, and I saw the day I was leaving and assumed I would have the next day off. It takes a really long time to travel back from Hawaii. So basically, I had a day where I got on a plane, and then the next whole day, literally, I was flying, and then started right back to work the very next day. So I didn't have a day in between to get life together, to do things like laundry and grocery shopping and clean the house and all this stuff. And I do have to still deal with my son. I had to deal with him today. And he is like a 50-50. A 50-50 is really good. 50-50 is a massive improvement. But he's still 50-50 as to whether he's going to be decent or attacking. He doesn't attack physically anymore either. I mean, he's making improvements, but still. My father is currently in the hospital because he has Alzheimer's, and he started hallucinating. And he attacked people at the place where he was living. So, hey, Pear, you're going to get tired. Mr. Little Tripod. Doing great. Anyway, I have to deal with that. Clean the house. All the chores, all the life things. So, knowing that this is my sort of lot in life. Now again, I don't have the stress of interacting with people. And I told everybody, and they thought I was nuts. My son especially is really difficult, but way worse than dealing with him. 100 times worse were all the people that came along with him. The doctors, that's the other thing. My health is like garbage, and half the time when I take a day off of work, it's because I'm going to a doctor's appointment. Again, that's because of stress. The doctors, the therapists, the teachers, all this. They were so much worse than my kid ever was. When my kid was at his worst, my kid was physically attacking me. That was nothing compared to getting a call from a teacher, and it was daily. I don't have to deal with that stress anymore. And so, on the one hand, this is ideal. It's very hermit-like lifestyle. Don't recommend it. On the other hand, there's nobody there to lean on. I have to do everything myself. And I have not been able to do that. So, all this wind up, this is what I did. And again, I've been working on this. This was not like a snap decision. This was not like I'm just going to say this. This was months of practice and building it up and getting to the point where I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to say something. So before I left, I don't know what that light is. Before I left, I told my boss when I came back that I wanted to reinstate my original work contract, which sounds insane. I was terrified when I did it. I was like, oh my God. My original work contract was for 22 hours a week. I've been working like over 50. And I was sure that I was going to get retaliation. Oh, here it is. I'm like, where's the place where the ghost is? It's right here. I think maybe it's still too early for the ghost. Maybe it's frozen. Anyway, I think we should go back. Come on, cats. I thought that I would get dropped down to like 5 hours and I would not be able to survive and I would have to get a second job. I thought I might get fired. I thought I would get like all kinds of negative commentary. I was really scared. You don't do that. Other people do that left and right. They make, that's one of the things is my direct supervisor is constantly complaining about how people have very tight, restrictive schedule availability and how difficult it is to deal with that. But I did it. And I said 22 hours up to 30. Now the thing is that with my job, pretty regularly, you would have like a schedule. Like say you're scheduled for 4 hours or something. And then it gets really, really busy and you're stuck working for 6. That's how I get so much overtime. Which, by the way, they yell at me about the overtime, that I have too much overtime. So, I came back from my trip on a Tuesday. Flew in that night. Starting the Wednesday, this is halfway through, I was scheduled for 20-something, like 28 hours, like immediately. I ended up working over 30. It was like 34 hours or something. Starting on a Wednesday. This was when I told them I wanted to work 22 hours. The next week, I worked 6 days out of the 7 and got overtime again. And the thing is that I was, this is another part, I was like, oh my God, I had no idea you were doing this. This is what happens when you work in the United States, I guess. And companies can do whatever the hell they want. Again, this chatting thing, sitting around doing nothing, which stresses me out. I'd much rather have a ton of work and just go, than just sit there and wait. I was talking to somebody and I was like, I can't believe these hours. I was only supposed to work 20 a week. And then all of a sudden the supervisor popped in, had been sort of ghosting, watching this conversation and hearing everything I was saying. I was like, oh my God. Yeah, it's got to take it a lot slower coming back because Perry's going to have a difficult time. It's been a long time since they went for a walk like this. But they love it. I'll end up carrying him. Especially when we get to the next road. This one's usually pretty okay. The next road, you get crazies. Which is why we walk on this road. Mostly. Anyway, yeah. Well, she came out and she's like, blah, 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 you said 30. And I was like, like, hi, thanks for materializing. I didn't realize you were there. I didn't realize you were monitoring, like, the chat part. I mean, the work part, I understand. The chat part? Holy crap. I don't know why. I didn't think that was happening, but apparently it was. And I guess it's good. I've worked there for 2, 3 years. I don't know. No, not 3. Not 2. Not even 2 years yet. Anyway, and, yeah, not even 2. Wow. And it seems like a lot longer. Anyway, I had no idea that this was happening. So apparently I never said anything so terrible in this little chatting thing with my other coworkers that they felt the need to break in and comment on it. I mean, that's good. And she was like, you said 30. And I was like, oh no, I said 20. And especially, if I'm scheduled for so last week when I worked 42, 44 hours or something like that, I was scheduled for 29. And then I was called in for an extra day, so that I was called in for the 6th day. And the thing is, again, if you're scheduled for 6 hours, you usually work 9 or 10. And they know it. So that's why I was like, okay, schedule me for 22, and maybe I'll end up at about 30 and work 4 days a week, and I can have some balance in my life. But that didn't work. And this week, again, other people who apparently are much more important, or maybe they're just, they know they're not a pushover, and they know that they're just going to be like, yeah, no, have come back and said, hey, yeah, I'm doing other things now and I want to work less. And they're like, cool. And they come back to me and they're like, I know that you want 20 hours, but can you push it off another week? Can we wait until we hire some people? I mean, the good news of it is this crap of sitting around doing nothing, I'm working a lot more, and so making more money, so I'm piling it up. I don't need it. If I had another trip pending, that would be totally awesome. But, pandemic, that's not happening. I mean, I'm sort of planning on one. But I can't really say, yes, I'm definitely doing this, and it's definitely not going to be for a while. Okay, let's slow down for Perry. Do you need me to carry you yet? He just needs a break. Yeah. So, my little... I guess it's been 6 weeks since I told the boss or my supervisor, not my boss, just don't even want to get there. The manager is just, anyway. I don't actually interact with the technical manager very much at all, because I no. Because she's classic, narcissist and psychopathic, boss who only thinks about herself and numbers, and it's great for business, but really bad for interacting with anybody. And I just saw a shooting star for real. Too bad I did not. I was like, what is that? It's like a falling leaf, but there aren't any leaves. That's actually a shooting star. Anyway, I'm supposed to make a wish now, aren't I? So, yeah. So, Pop's got himself in there. Let's see if you can see it. You can see his eyes. He's over there on this field of snow, and I'm running out of time. So, let me wrap this up. It is possible to stand up for yourself and to not just throw out the baby with the bathwater and think so black and white and say, well, I just need to quit completely. I know so many people who wait to get fired, who wait to have people break up with them because they can't say no themselves. They can't stop it themselves. They can't break off that whatever relationship. I don't know where Poppy is. I think he's still sitting over there. Oh no, there he is. He came back around. Anyway, definitely can't speak up and say, this is what I need. I'm not kidding. It took me at least 4 months of constantly thinking, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this, making excuses, saying, well, I'm going on this trip and I need the money anyway. And before I finally pulled the trigger, and it didn't work. I don't know if it's going to continue to work, but I can tell you this. For the last 2 days, I actually had 2 days off, and I have not been called in those 2 days. And I am sure that everyone was told to leave me alone. Because I actually, when my supervisor was like, please don't go part-time this week, because, everybody else, I'm like, I got life, man. I got to deal with life, which is true. I mean, seriously. I was in the hospital for my father. Hate going to the hospital. I live in Maine, and our hospitals are stupid, and they make you go into this big, huge room packed with people. And the first thing they do is they make you touch a sanitizer machine. It's not automatic. Because I don't, sanitizer's great, but I don't think it does everything. Yeah, Perry's done. I need to carry him. Then they make you change your mask. Take off your mask in this room where all the sick people are. And I hate it. Anyway, and I already had COVID, and I still hate it. I took 4 COVID tests when I went to Hawaii. They are all negative. I'm pretty good at avoiding it now that I know what to do. I'm pretty good at not giving it to anybody. But I hated it. But I was there. And this is stuff I have to do. Let me see if I put my light on. You can see it. That's me breathing. That's how cold it is out here. So I guess I'm going to turn the light off. Yeah. So at least they gave me that. And then I'll work like a dog. I'll probably work 10, 12-hour days the next 2 days. And then isn't it the Super Bowl? Oh, that's awesome. Because I'll have no work. Because nobody is going to want to do anything on Well, okay. What am I talking about? Yeah, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be like, nobody else is going to do anything. It's the Super Bowl. Shoot. Okay, well, I thought that I would have an easy day. And that they would say, gosh, we got nothing happening. Go home early. Oh, that's Percy. Uh-oh. Come on, Perry, get out of the street. So I have 3 of my cats over here. Come on, Perry. Get out of the street before you get squished. Get out of the street. Get out of the street. Get out of the street. Get out of it. Perry. Okay, that means it's time to end this. I will give you an update and let you know how it goes, if I get any more success with not working as much. I don't know. My advice is build up the gumption, give it a shot. And nobody's going to change anything unless you say something. And maybe it's going to rip you apart to say something, but at some point you got to say something, or else it will go to the black and white point, and you'll just quit whatever it is and throw the baby out with the bathwater, and that will suck just as bad as coping with whatever you're coping with, unless it's an abusive, truly abusive situation, even though sometimes those are even harder to get out of. Anyway, bye.